New Zealand First is Winston Peters. Winston Peters is New Zealand First. It is hard to imagine the party without him. Winston Peters founded New Zealand First. His personality and his ideology have always dominated the party. Winston Peters is a charismatic leader with a strong personality and a clear set of principles. He is a modern-day Robert Muldoon, and like Robert Muldoon, he totally dominates his party. But Winston is old. In the coming years he will retire or die. This will be a sad day for the country. Winston Peters has often been a voice of reason on the right, especially when it comes to economic policy. But what will happen to New Zealand First without Winston? In my view, the party will become irrelevant. They will probably fail to cross the threshold. Even with Winston, they struggle to pass the threshold. Last election, they ran a good campaign in ideal conditions. Even then, they only got 6% of the vote. New Zealand First is fundamentally an oppositional party. They are very good at attacking the government. They are very bad at staying in government. The last 2 times New Zealand First went into government, the party was kicked out of Parliament at the following election. And that was with Winston. Without Winston, things would be even worse. Shane Jones is Winston's obvious replacement. The other New Zealand First MPs are too unlikable and incompetent. Most of them don't even have a public profile. Shane Jones, however, has some serious problems. He often comes off as a pompous, corrupt moron, which is because he is a pompous, corrupt moron. He is not as principled as Winston. He is not as charismatic as Winston. He has all of Winston's bad traits, but none of his good traits. He is very extreme. He has called his political opponents vermin. He has suggested imprisoning his political opponents. He likes attacking Mexican immigrants. His rhetoric is extreme enough to be quite unappealing to most people. New Zealanders like polite civil politics, and Shane Jones is not like that. But he is not even unpleasant in a righteous way. He is just unpleasant. He is also very clearly full of himself. New Zealanders value modesty and humility. Pompous grand ranting is not going to get you very far. Many people like Winston due to his economic nationalism, his desire to put New Zealand first. Shane Jones lacks this. He speaks fondly of economic liberalisation. He wants foreign companies to plunder our natural resources. He is far worse than Winston. In my view, New Zealand First is the party of Winston Peters. Without Winston Peters, New Zealand First is nothing. The party will fade into irrelevance and obscurity. Its voting base will be divided among National, Labour and ACT.